Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking to you about a device called the ResisTeacher, which implements a tangible user interface for learning your standard 5% resistor color codes. I have here a resistor. It's a 1 watt resistor, 5% tolerance, and I don't know how well you can see it, but it's got a band sequence combination on there of red, violet, brown, and if you know anything about resistors, you know that that band sequence corresponds to the actual resistance value of the resistor. And so if I wanted to know what that resistance was, well, I could look up a table on the internet, or maybe I have that table memorized, or maybe reach for my nearest ohm meter, or optionally I could use a device like this to learn the codes for the resistors by trying to recreate that band sequence. So again, that's what that resistor kind of looks like. And you can see the first band is red, the second band is violet, and the third band is brown. So if I try to recreate that here, the first band I need to grab is a red. I can use these half discs to kind of represent those color bands. If I place them in these slots here, you'll see I'm going to kind of recreate what that resistor looks like. So when I place that disc in the slot, I see that, oh, okay, red corresponds to the number 2. Well, what about the next one? The next one was violet, so here's a violet disc, and I can place him in the second slot, and that represents the second band, and evidently violet represents the number 7. And the last one, I think, was brown. So let me see. Here's a brown disc representing the third band, and if I place him in the slot, oh, okay, brown corresponds to the number 1. And then I can see here, once I've populated all 3 bands, that the total resistance value is 270 ohms. So that tells me that this resistor has a resistance of 270 ohms, at least within 5%. Well, that's pretty cool. I wonder if we can do another one. Let's try here. Let's see. My favorite resistor is red, red, red. So I wonder what the resistance value for red, red, red is. I can remove these discs, and you see that once I've taken them away, the resistance goes away, but the number stays for the band that I already have in there. And here's another red disc. Let's place him in the second band. Okay, we got a number 2 again, just like we would expect. And here's the third disc. Let's put him in the third band there. Oh, okay, and he also evaluates to 2, and correspondingly the resistance is 2200 ohms, or 2.2 kilo ohms. And how does that work? Well, if you know what your resistor code chart is, and hopefully you'll learn it from using a device like this, you know that the first 2 numbers get concatenated together. So we have a 2 and a 2. That means 22 is going to be our base. And then the third band corresponds to a multiplier. So that's 10 to the 2. 10 to the 2 is 100. So really what we're doing here is we're taking 22 and multiplying it by 100, and that's where we get 2200, or 2.2 kilo ohms. So anyway, as you can see, this is kind of a fun way to learn the color codes corresponding to different bands and on 5% resistors, and how to compute those numbers into a total resistance value. The way it works, just briefly, as you can see here, is that each of these discs have a different cutout pattern on the bottom. So brown looks like this, and there's a series of switches inside this device that detects whether or not those little extensions are there and those press switches or don't press switches. And so by doing that, I can encode what the color is into my firmware, and then I can output onto the display what the number corresponding to each color is. Let's try, just for the heck of it, let's try red, red, orange. Okay, well, orange I guess is 3, so red, red, orange is going to be 22 kilo ohms. Anyway, this is the ResisTeacher, and it's a device, again, for learning your resistance color codes, and it's kind of fun to use. It's for children, adults, any student of electronics, and I hope you've enjoyed learning about it. Thanks very much.